Somehow, Traptrix overcomes one of the largest meta representations that I have seen in a while. Make sure you guys smash that and crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We're back with your Tables and Towers tournament breakdown here. And holy moly, knowing that Traptrix had to overcome this meta chart is crazy to me. Like, you know, that PlayStation 5 was really important to at least one of these duelists, and it was Traptrix. But you're starting off your meta here. We had 3 purely decks in the top cut. That's a lot more than you really want to be seeing out of these events. But I'll also be honest here, Gen and Ken are stupid cards. All right, like they tend to do some of the craziest things in the meta right now, and the fact that one of these purely decks was able to kind of adapt to that is really kind of saying something here. We also had 2 Rescue Ace decks. Now, Rescue Ace has been pretty much been foretold to be the best deck in the room because of the way that the deck is able to kind of combo through and just not care about the things that the opponent is kind of setting up. It's I would almost say that it's ignorance to the max for the way that the deck kind of wants to play a lot of its metagame hands and, well, just kind of be the nuisance that it is. We also only had 1 Tier Elements player, which is so strange to me because that deck has also been told to be one of the better decks in the room. And then, of course, we had a Chimera branded deck kind of creeping through here as well. And then, of course, our Traptrix duelist taking it all home. But to see this many purely players, purely's been struggling a little bit more on some of the higher end circuit, but in a more localized event like this, you are definitely going to be able to find some easy success out here. And I think that's pretty interesting, all things considered. So let's pass on over to this deck list. Remember, there was a PlayStation 5 on the line for this event. Walking away, the winner was Traptrix here, and yes, they are playing Triple Dimension Shifter in the main deck here, which means that we don't really care about, well, I mean, Traptrix has always kind of been able to play through Shifter. I mean, there could be a slight confliction, but it's really not going to be anything to really, you know, hurt this deck in the long run. Also, big other notes here. Only 2 Parallel Exceed. We've definitely seen that that's been a very nice, consistent addition to these decks. I see that since we are playing the Cashier package, we are getting a chance to play good old Riseheart. We've seen how good Riseheart has been here as one of the little search targets. I mean, technically, if you need to toss it on down and convert it on into some sort of Exceed monster, you are going to be able to do that very easily. Outside of that, I see we're only playing 1 copy of the Different Dimension Ground, but I mean, with maximizing shifters, I don't think you need to be really worried about that too much. So yeah, first place. Okay. Our second place list is Rescue Ace. Wow, Rescue Ace had to grind against what we just saw. I see for this list that we are not doing, you know, the Renault package. We're not trying to get super crazy. Instead, we're doing Pazimo. Now, Pazimo has been kind of a little thing that a few people have been talking about. I'm not 100% sold on Pazimo. I think the card is incredibly cute for the little things that it can do, but it's just kind of that. It doesn't really, to me, it's not the version of the deck that I'd see myself playing. But 2 Diabellstar, 3 of the Searcher, which is fine. Nothing really kind of changes in that department. Looking at the rest of this deck, though, they are citing the 1 Reinforce down there. Yeah, I think this is pretty standard. Gotta love the fact that double SP Little Knight is a thing that actually does come up with this deck. Got to spend those wallets, right? All right. Hey, we have the power of the Horus package with Tier Elements. Now, I'll be honest with you here. I still don't like this version of the deck. I do kind of agree with a lot of the people that are like, this does hurt some of the consistency that kind of pushes on out with some of the other packages, and that's fine. But, I mean, let's call it what it is. It is the ability to discard some extra dead cards out of the way. And I mean, you are playing 3 City, 1 Hoppy, and 1 Sarcophagus. A few people do go, no, you need to have 3 Sarcophagus. It's the maximized results. You need to do it. I really don't think you do. I think if you are trying to bolt down on that much, you're just going to run into some big consistency issues. All right. Meanwhile, you want other tier cards to assist you. And I mean, we're also playing card destruction in here. So definitely a very interesting takeaway for the list. All right. What else we got back here? Oh, this is our Gen and Ken, actually piloted by Alex Buell. That's a name that I'm pretty used to seeing out here. Now, I see that we are playing a Cerulli. Actually, this build takes a little bit more advantage of the Dark World package to kind of be able to Silva. Actually, to be fair, if you are a purely duelist and you're able to Cerulli Silva, shuffle away 2 cards, and then deploy the big cat, you're probably going to go into a winning position. I don't really see much of a way for duelists to kind of recover out of that. It's also super scumbaggy, but I mean, if you're going for the win, you're going for the win. Like, you are going to be walking away victorious after resolving things like that. So that's something really major that I would give some consideration to here is, this build seems a lot more fun, and I would honestly give this build some consideration. Like, this is the kind of stuff that you want to see out here. All right, our 5th place list, our top 8 here, was actually our Chimera list. Now, to be fair, a lot of these Chimera lists, either you're playing it with Runic or you're not. I do kind of think that the TCG has been going more towards cutting the Runic package. While the Runic package, I mean, is kind of free stuff. It just doesn't tend to help. I see that we are playing End of Anubis down here. The Invader of Darkness. Gotta love all this Fiend support, man. Like, cool. Then I see that we are playing 1 copy of the Light Hexial Fusion in here. Does that mean that we can... Yep, there's the Dragoon. You wanted to see a deck that's able to have all of these cute little tech choices and be able to overcome a lot of the meta. I think that this is probably going to be the thing that you're going to want to give a shot to out here. Just to kind of see and go, hey, this is by far some innovation, and that's what you want to see out here. The little tech choices are the things that tend to let these decks actually do well. And then, of course, oh, hey, look, Purely. Now, we're not doing any of that spicy Dark World stuff that we just saw. I kind of wish we were. That definitely makes my attention pretty interesting. Now, keep in mind that all of our Purely players look like that they, or at least the rest of them, got stuck back here in top 8. Now, this build is also playing Shifter in the side deck. It's kind of something that we've been seeing a lot more of as of late, too. This deck has kind of had to find a way to kind of deal with some of these more chaotic graveyard decks. And I'm not going to take anything away from this, let's be honest here, but... Purely sometimes loses a shift or 2. It happens. You're just going to have to kind of time these little conflictions very easily. I also love the fact this deck still gets away with playing Summon Limit. I know I say that every single video that we look at a Purely list, but, just being able to do all the cat stuff, set the Summon Limit, look at your opponent attempts to start breaking it, you hit them with the Summon Limit, they're heartbroken. Here is our, looks like this is our middle ground. We're playing Triple Brow. Now, if you're kind of starting to get into a little bit more of the Dark World stuff, I mean, we've seen, Snows with the Brows, but at that point in time, you're just putting a sign on your back that says, Hi, Droll and Lockbird, please, I don't want to be drolled right now. Why would you do that to me? That's kind of the feeling I kind of get when we're looking at a lot of this. So I do like the fact that you can get away with playing Brows and things like this in this deck, and maybe to the lesser degree the Snows, but optimizing just to play the Brows to get the additional draw so that you can continuously play more of your Purely spells to make sure that you can get through those monsters and do your thing is fine. Also, 1 leap. Best answer. Also, double Zeus. It's not something that you see a lot of anymore. This deck is very notorious for the large Zeuses that it can make. And our last list here is some more Rescue Ace. And this is by far, I think, the easiest variant that we've been pretty exposed to in the TCG, where they're doing, just the 1 Durandal and the 1 Warrior Monster. And then you're able to kind of go through like the double SP Little Knight package, the Assault, and you start setting up this slightly more consistent board that way you can actually see the Baron to floor, and you put that negation on the table to pressure your opponent out of the game. It's extremely self-explanatory. I like the idea of what this deck is attempting to do, but it's just not the build that I'd see myself wanting to play. Gotta love TCG players, gotta put some sort of combo into things. So what do you guys think about this event? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back in Learning Day, guys. Peace out. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.